Hey, we are Matt and Amanda.
This is our home, Desiree.
And we are the Van Project.
Looking back to when it all began, I was 25 and you were 21. Oh, I should've known.
It's a 1964 Clark Cortez. Maybe you've never heard of that before. It's a bit of an American classic. It was the second RV that was ever launched in the US, and there's only about 3,800 of them.
It was made by Clark Equipment, which is actually a forklift company. San Francisco is awesome. We have great friends there, but it was really expensive to live there. The amount of work we'd have to do to afford to live in San Francisco comfortably was just like, that would be our whole life. We know people that live that way, and it doesn't seem super fulfilling. When we first started talking about this idea, it was kind of about finding a way that we could downsize our lives, work less, and enjoy life a little bit more. This is Desiree. This is our 1964 Clark Cortez RV. We found it on actually a Cortez group online. Amanda and I saw it, we fell in love with it. Obviously, it's so classic looking. We're like, this is the vehicle for us. And the price was right too. We paid $7,500 for it. So we're like, this is the one, it's in good shape, it's been maintained, we gotta go get it. So we called up this guy King, we said we want it. And that same day we bought a one-way flight to Portland, Oregon, flew up there. He picked us up at the airport in the RV, which was totally awesome. We fell in love, we had to have it, so that's the story. We did all the renovations ourselves, all in. We haven't done the math exactly, but I think we spent about $4,000. We have a rear door, so we didn't want to block that. We opted to put the bike rack in the front, and if you want to peek down here, you can see we had to get this custom receiver added to the front. That wasn't standard on the vehicle, but it's awesome. It let us put our Thule rack on the front, and we've got a pair of touring bikes on here. Right behind the bikes, I don't know if you can see we've got the grill, and you just pop that guy open, and that's where the oil goes. I know this really well because I have to put like a quart of oil in this thing every 250 miles. We've got these vents right here. This actually used to be where the refrigerator was set up in the RV. So now this is just a vent for fresh air. So we actually have like an air register cover like you'd have it in your house that we can open and close on the inside. So when we turn our fan on and open the vent to this, we have nice fresh air can come right into the RV. Come down here, we've got gas tanks in there. And so this is interesting. This compartment here used to be where the propane was stored for the RV, but we only needed a small propane tank to run our hot water heater and our stove. So we actually converted this to our solar battery compartment. And I'll open this up and show you. You can see we've got two 12-volt deep cycle batteries. We've got a couple fuses, and I also keep some tools in here. I've got a tool bag with some sockets and wrenches and electrical stuff in case we need to do repairs on the road. The back end here, this is one of the ways we get in and out of the RV. Full-size spare tire here. On this side of the rig, we've got something that's really important and luxurious for us. This is an on-demand hot water heater. It's propane powered, and we can actually enjoy a hot shower. This also gives us hot water in our sink whenever we want it, which is really nice. Water filling spot. This is the cockpit. This is where the captain sits and drives. When you have a 50-year-old vehicle, things are a little different. You can see it. It's got kind of a classic appearance. Oil pressure, engine temperature. Those are two really important things to look at because a vehicle like this does not have a check engine light. You have to keep an eye on those things, make sure they're in the right zone when you're driving. We've got a choke right here, kind of like a lawnmower or a chainsaw. So when it's cold, sometimes you got to use the choke to get the RV started. Got a heater, lights, you know, some of the standard stuff. Got my tachometer up here so I can keep an eye on my RPMs. Even 50 years ago, they were making the swivel seats. I can turn this thing around and face the back or the side if I want. So here's the front bench seat. Converts into a bed, which is awesome for having guests. There you go. Instant guest bed.
Welcome to the inside. This is our home. We knew we'd be cooking a lot. Like we both like to cook and we trade off cooking duties, and so we wanted a kitchen that was enough space and that had everything we'd need for cooking. And so we have a 2-basin sink over here. We have plumbing and a hot water heater, which gives us hot and cold water. We have a 2-burner stove. This you can remove. We ended up that most of the time we don't. It runs off propane. We built like a little wooden stopper back there, and so the legs sit in the stopper, so when we're driving we can actually leave it in. This is really convenient to have a cutting board that fits over the sink. So one of the things that's like useful is you can, if you need more space, like kind of put it over here and have more space to cook. We have lots of storage in this area, so we keep all of our coffee stuff, like Matt makes a coffee every morning, coffee, tea. These stay closed with magnets, so we have 2 magnets on each side. We built in the kitchen area, so we have 2 drawers. These are the only 2 drawers we built, and I actually built them myself. It was like one of my proudest moments. I was newer to the carpentry and stuff than Matt, and so like for me that was a huge step. But they are normal 3/4 drawers, and we have catches to keep them shut. That's very important when you're building. You need something to keep everything shut and in place. I'll open up and show you just how much storage we have. We have a lot. In this area under here is where our 30-gallon freshwater tank is. You can't see it, but if you look in from the side, we can see how full it is. And this is our fridge. As mentioned, this is one of the purchases we thought maybe, well, should we get a cooler? Should we get a fridge? Amazing purchase. We had a table. This is a table that we spent a lot of time making and a lot of love. It's actually a really beautiful table, but it kind of didn't work for us, and so we're eventually gonna get rid of this. We don't need a table to eat. That's one thing you'll learn along the way, is you learn things in your space. It's like any home. You learn how to rework it and fix it along the way. Matt's clothes, that's been another thing for being 2 people in this small space. Matt's area where he has his clothing and stuff is more up here, and mine's in the back area. And so that works really, really well, because then he has this space to get ready and I have that space, and we don't like get in each other's way. Matt already showed it too, but that's the original bed for this vehicle, and there were 2. There was like a bunk bed set up, and living as 2 people in this, it's very small. It was actually smaller than twin-sized, and so we knew we wanted a bigger bed. And so that's what we have here. It's a queen size bed, which we went with a queen. It's like not that much bigger than a full, but it definitely makes a difference. We also wanted a lot of storage. And so we store tons of stuff underneath the bed too. We have like climbing gear bins, Matt's huge, big tripod under here, and we have the heavyweight gear under here. But one of the things we added toward the end was this bookshelf, and that's been like, I'm so glad we did that. Having this bookshelf and having a couple open storage areas have been really awesome. Like we have all of our climbing guides here and books that we're reading. A lot of times we'll like pick up a couple books along the way and then get rid of them, give them to friends and like trade off. One of the things that we didn't think we were gonna have was a toilet. And so we do have a toilet, we kept it, and it's been awesome. The original bathroom was much bigger, so we did a huge renovation. The bathroom went out about to here, and there was a second sink. And here we have some electric stuff. So this is where all the solar components go. That's our inverter. Inside is the charge controller, and this is our DC fuse panel. And then here's my clothes. It's not super clean, but that's okay, because I try to keep it just in one corner. My old roommate used to make jokes that I would leave Amanda bombs all over the apartment, and I still do that, but I don't do as many because there's not as much space. It has a USB plug in it, so this is usually how we charge our phones. This is a really long cord, and so it's long enough that you can sleep on either side of the bed. That's one benefit of having our bed in this orientation too, is like we can change the direction that we're sleeping. So if you're a little bit off kilter one way or the other, we don't have to level. We can just change the way our head goes. Yeah, here's a little bit of extra storage space that we made use of this little spot over here. One of the scariest things I did for me was leaving my job. I worked at YouTube. So I worked at the company. It's like everyone wants to work at that company, and it's a great place to be, but it was not the place for me. I was not exceeding there. I was not pushing myself to do everything I could creatively. I was not learning as much as I could. I had to do that scary thing. Like, I am so much happier now. I had to do that thing that really, really scared me. That's part of my message too, is that fear can hold you back, and everyone has their fears. And so a lot of it's about combating that.
You have to be really persistent if you want to do this and also simultaneously make a living on the road. You can save a bunch of money and then just stop working and live like this, or you can try and live like this and also work simultaneously. Or you could work intermittently and travel. But you have to figure out what way is going to work for you realistically. You know, I think you just have to be open to challenges. You have to be psyched about taking on challenges to live in a van or RV. There's going to be challenges, no matter how adaptable you are. It's not easy, but the rewards are just incredible.
Thanks for watching this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks most of all to the patrons. I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to find out more,
You can find us on Instagram at Van.projects. Our website is thevanproject.com. And we also have a YouTube channel that you can check us out on at youtube.com/thevanproject.
Have a great week. Peace.
Someone's used just to